It's April. April Janine Reynolds. Like the month. I just cannot believe this has happened. It's just so not me. It's just so not who I am. Once we've talked about it, you'll see I'm the last person to do anything conventionally violent. I mean, up until last month, I was a strict vegan. Well, you can't be a strict vegan unless you hold deeply held beliefs about the sanctity of life in all its forms, and I have that. I do. For me to be accused with assault occasioning grievous bodily harm is a distortion of who I am, of what I believe. I mean, I've always wondered about the power of suggestion. You know, you see those people who queue up to drink that poison in that American town, and I used to think to myself, how can that happen? How can anyone make you drink or eat anything against your will, against your principles? But they can. And that's what he did to me. He lured me into doing things that I haven't done since I was a child. He seduced me back into the sordid world of carnivorous consumption. I was a vegan. It was a violation. We met at a pub. That should have been the first sign. I never go to pubs. I cannot stand the thought of drinking from a glass I haven't washed myself. I've always been like that. Another reason I couldn't be part of that poison massacre. I cannot stand the thought of sharing a glass with one person, let alone thousands. I mean, I know it's unusual, but I won't apologise for it. Anyway, I was at the pub with my friends and they were ordering food. The usual orgy of undistinguishable slabs of meat and uncooked potatoes. I mean, I almost regurgitated my casserole I had for lunch. I mean, the tables were sticky, for heaven's sakes. I mean, does no one ever question what is that disgusting film that covers everything in sight? So, I sat there and I wasn't in a happy place. Then, the last order arrived at the table. And to my amazement, it was magnificent. It had this sense of grandeur, of pedigree. It was so plump, so juicy. I wanted it. I later found out that it was a speciality of the house. A burger of the lot. I couldn't believe my reaction. It was like a journey of self-discovery. I mean, as I looked at that magnificent slab of minced meat, I actually felt myself start to salivate. In that moment, I truly understood anyone who ever questioned the very core of their being. The kind of person who questions their sexuality or religious beliefs. A vegan who wanted nothing more than to grab that big, beefy burger, take a huge bite and feel the greasy mix of oil and sauce drip down my chin. God, I hated myself. But it was also slightly thrilling. I was so ashamed. I started to feel claustrophobic. Trapped. I needed water, so I went up to the bar and asked for a glass. I went to the toilet to wash it. Did I mention I cannot drink from a glass I haven't washed myself? And on the way, I looked into the kitchen There he was. The man that 11 people at the treehouse like to call the Burger King. He was magnificent. I watched him work the grill. He had this long brown hair that was tied into a ponytail that followed his every move with such elegance and poise, like a serpent under a charm. Our eyes met, and that was it. We were in love. We were inseparable. We were soulmates. I began eating meat that very night. I drank from everything. Used glasses, the bottle, the tap. I was completely ecstatic. I was utterly obsessed. I mean, not in a bad way. We had sex everywhere. In the kitchen, on the bar. I mean, but it wasn't all about the sex. That was merely a wonderful, happy byproduct of our deep, spiritual connection. I brushed his hair. I let him cook lamb and marinated chicken breasts on my grill. I shared every part of myself. My brush and my grill. But fate's overrated. One night, I went to the pub, early, to surprise him, to surprise my man. The man I'd given up vegetables for. And to my disbelief and utter disappointment, I found him feeding chicken pieces and pineapple to the bar woman at the end of a kebab. You look as gutted as I was, and I was gutted. Believe me. It was all apologies and tears. Please forgive me. It's nothing like what we have. And chicken isn't beef, and it's certainly not steak. But it was too late. I had given him my soul. Deceitful bastard! I just wanted him to lose a little piece of himself like I have. There was just something strangely poetic about using the meat cleaver. I know I shouldn't have waited in his bedroom. I hid behind the bedroom door. I didn't break in. No broken locks or windows. I would never damage his property. I think that is very inappropriate. I used the house key he'd given me when we were soulmates. Back when he invited me into his life. His home. I waited for him to fall into that deep, beautiful sleep of the wicked. People who betray like he did don't have the problems of sleeping like those of us with a conscience have. I bet you get it all the time. I bet the prisons are full with people that sleep like babies. So he slept. And I saw it. Sitting on the sheet. It's only right that he used that symbol of beauty because it wasn't real. So I picked it up, held it gently in my hands, and I brought down the cleaver. Whack! Hand on heart, it hurt me more than it hurt him. It's merely justice, and justice isn't assault. Is it? Not really. I was robbed of my identity. Defiled, stained. Hair grows back in time. I had a ham sandwich for lunch. I ask you, who is the real victim?